Welcome back to the Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show, brought to you by Priority Home Medical Equipment. We're going to dive back into politics this week. Our guest this morning is a candidate for Weatherford City Commission, Josh Atkinson. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming in. We're just kind of getting to know each other here in the studio. You are the owner of the Daisy Exchange, which is a fascinating story because you basically had this really successful business up in the Moore area, and you decided to bring it to Weatherford a couple of years ago. Tell us about that.
It's up for debate at the time whether it was a smart move or not. I knew at the time that it was going to be. It was actually my wife's idea to even look at us coming back to Weatherford, but we were in Moore, south of 19th Street, right there on I-35, prime retail location. You can't ask for a better spot for a clothing store, but at the same time, the price of living was a whole lot higher in Moore, and we were also drowning in competition. So we decided we needed to make a leap to find a better solution for our business. So we looked at Weatherford, and I had people left and right telling me the population can't support your store. You're going to have to get a second job to support your family. And I said, you don't know Weatherford like I do. I'm a Southwestern grad, did my undergraduate and graduate studies at Southwestern. I lived here for a number of years, grew up as a Western Oklahoma boy, so coming to Weatherford was a common occurrence for us. Even as when I lived in Hobart, there was always a reason, or through either school or personal reasons, to come to Weatherford. So we looked at Weatherford, and it was an easy choice. I knew that Weatherford and the surrounding area would be more than sufficient for our store.
Well, great move. And once again, you had that background of living here. And did you intern over at Stafford? I actually worked there for a while.
I did. I had a NASA fellowship.
Okay, cool.
Throughout my undergraduate and my graduate studies. And it just happened it was a research fellowship, and it happened to fall at the Stafford Museum.
Neat.
So that was my background there, and that was back in 2006 through 2011 was when I was at Southwestern.
But you're not an astronaut.
No, never. I was more on the science side of things than actually going to. The idea of it, great.
Yeah.
Fantastic idea, but this never was my cup of tea.
Well, that's so cool that, though, you and your family came back to Weatherford, and as you mentioned, you had some naysayers out there, but look what's happening with the Daisy Exchange, already expanding.
Yes, yeah. We've been here 3 years now in June, and we quickly outgrew the space we were in. And we're expanding. We're adding about 1,600 square foot to the north end of our building, and that's going to be about 1,000 square foot of additional store sales space, and then 600 square foot or so for I do T-shirt printing as well, and that's what it'll be. That space will be dedicated for the T-shirt printing. And
for people that aren't familiar with the Daisy Exchange, kind of talk about the concept of the store.
Yeah, it's we are the term consignment is used to describe us, and that's not what we do. As when you consign clothing, you have to wait for it to sell to get paid. We are what's referred to as buy outright. So if you bring in clothes to us that is in good condition, a current style, then I will either pay you store credit or cash right there on the spot, as opposed to you having to wait for it to sell to get paid.
And the other thing about it, I would call it more upscale. It's not like people's leftover stuff that's all holy and stuff like that. It's like donated items. This is nice, fashionable stuff.
Yeah, and we will turn away. Like if you bring in a pair of name brand jeans that might have a stain or a hole in it, even though it's a name brand, it's not sellable. Yeah. So that might be a reason why we might turn away a name brand piece of clothing, but we look at the style and the condition, and when I say style, it's like newer styles, usually between like 18 to 24 months. You've seen it in malls, department stores. Yeah. That's kind of the styles we're looking for.
Well, and what's so neat about it, especially for kids' clothing, it's a big deal. Kids grow out of clothes so fast. I can't believe how many things we have to buy for my 10-year-old. I mean, in the middle of the school year, I'm like, You've got high waters. What's going on?
Yeah, and we actually didn't used to do kids' clothes.
Yeah.
And we started that at the beginning of 2025.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the catalyst for us to do our expansion, is because it'll allow us to take eventually we'll be selling as small as 2T on up through adults. So
Well, that's super cool. Well, Josh, once again, we're glad to have you here in town. And then the other exciting thing is that you decided to put your hat in the ring to run for city commission. We have a couple of seats coming up, Ward 1 and Ward 3, and you're running for Ward 3, right?
Correct.
So tell us about the decision.
Well, honestly, I was waffling back and forth. Well, it's just something over time I've had a lot of people come up to me since the seat was going to come open, like, hey, you should think about doing this. And the more people that came up to me, the more I thought about, I think this is something I should do, because I look at Weatherford where it's at, where it was whenever I was in school, which was in a great spot, and where it is now, which is even in a better spot, and where it can go, which is the sky's the limit on what Weatherford's possibilities are. And I thought I want to be part of the decision-making process that helps Weatherford move forward and doesn't get stuck in the mud, spinning wheels, but at the same time making the right fiscal decisions to move forward and not spending more money than necessary or just willy-nilly spending money just for the sake of moving forward, but having a real thoughtful process to do so.
And do you think being a business owner gives you a unique perspective in growth and things like that, and being fiscally responsible?
Absolutely. If Weatherford doesn't grow, my business doesn't grow. I mean, it's a selfish reason, to be honest with you, but if Weatherford continues to the growth that it's going, then my business and other small businesses like mine will continue to see growth. Like it just... More people, more shoppers. That's what it boils down to.
Well, and you mentioned going to school here back in 2006. I came back. Like you, I grew up small. You grew up in Hobart and Elk City. I grew up in Cordell. And just the change. I've been back 30 years now, and I cannot believe the way Weatherford has expanded so much. And when you look at communities that people want to live in, who's building houses? They're doing that all over the place here in Weatherford. In fact, they've got 2 new additions that are coming up because people still want to live in this town.
Despite the home prices?
Yeah, exactly, which is really expensive. It is.
Weatherford home prices are really expensive, but I know several people just within the last year that have moved here.
Yeah.
Just simply because of what's going on here in Weatherford. Like, they wanted their family to be a part of it. Like, they may not work here. Like, there's a few of them that come here that don't work in Weatherford, but they work in the surrounding area. But this is an easy choice just because of everything that's available for their family. And that's same for me.
What do you think the secret of Weatherford's growth is? Is it taking chances? And
I think it has to be, because, I mean, if you take the Stafford Air and Space Museum, for instance, like when I was there, I couldn't believe the fact that we had this museum of 40,000 square foot of indoor space artifacts. And at the time, it was just 40,000 square, and then we added the education center and all that. I couldn't believe we had that. And then, but it's the city's ability to look, again, the museum, look at this, take General Stafford, for instance, and then use the name, likeness, image, and build this little museum, and then the museum expands into what it is now, which is just a world-class institution. But the city's a big part of that, being the owner-operator of it, being supported by the foundation, but running through the city. I think that's a good example of how the city can look at something small at the time and then grow it into something big like what it is now with the Shooting Star Park across the street from it. How
amazing. Just had its grand opening over the weekend. Then the Apollo Soyuz is coming. And
interestingly enough, that Apollo Soyuz that's coming, that was the model. As a kid, I stood underneath at the Smithsonian and looked up at it, and that's the thing that got me interested in science and space.
Wow.
And now it's going to be here in Weatherford, and I can take my son and daughter to stand underneath it and do the exact same thing. So
that's super cool.
Yeah.
Josh Atkinson is our guest. He is running for Weatherford City Commission, Ward 3. The vote is coming up on August 25th. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with kind of some of the other issues that are facing Weatherford.
Brian Bacca is an investment advisor representative of and advisory services offered through Royal Fund Management, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
For most people planning for retirement, their number one fear is living too long and running out of money long before they run out of life. Imagine if you were on a vacation driving through the desert. You're enjoying the desert scenery and letting your mind wander as you admire the vast terrain and all of the beautiful natural landscape. All of a sudden you see a sign that says next gas 100 miles. You look down at your gas gauge and notice you have a little less than a quarter of a tank. Immediately you begin to think of how you overlook such an important detail. You start to second guess your car's gas mileage. You turn the air conditioner down, roll down your window, and you eventually decrease your speed to help get better mileage. Now you're not enjoying the drive as much, and all you can think about is, are you going to make it? This is Brian Bacca with Advanced Financial Strategies. Don't plan your retirement on a quarter of a tank. Make sure you are confident your financial tank is full before entering your retirement journey. Give us a call at our office, 323-6800, or check us out on retirewithbacca.com.
Escaping that summer heat can seem impossible. Is your unit working overtime to keep your home cool? Call Southwest Air & Heat, your local Lennox dealer in Weatherford. Southwest Air & Heat and Lennox are the trusted and experienced names for air conditioning in western Oklahoma. No matter the make or model, Southwest Air & Heat can service it. Call 772-8000. That's 772-8000. Perfect air, unmatched care. That's Southwest Air & Heat, your local Lennox dealer in Weatherford.
All new drinks are now at McDonald's, with refreshers like the Strawberry Watermelon Refresher and the Mango Pineapple Refresher with popping boba, to crafted sodas like the Sprite Berry Blast with berry flavors and cold foam. Who knew ice-cold drinks could be so fire? 6 all-new drinks are here, now at McDonald's.
Refreshers contain caffeine.
Locally owned and operated by the Phillips family.
You're going to love the taste of the meats, chicken, and pork available to you from Good Ranchers. This company connects you with American farmers and ranchers raising cattle, hogs, and chickens the right way. No antibiotics, no added hormones, and pasture-raised. It's a serious upgrade from what's in your supermarket.
More than 85% of grass-fed beef sold in grocery stores is imported. Good Ranchers partners with local farmers and ranchers to deliver 100% American meat straight to your door.
Both of our families enjoy what Good Ranchers provides, whether it's a mouth-watering ribeye steak or out-of-this-world bacon. This July, Good Ranchers is celebrating all 50 states with $50 off your first order. Just visit GoodRanchers.com. Use my name, Clay, as your promo code at checkout to get $50 off anything on their site. Remember, that's code Clay for $50 off, and you can also get free meat with every order on top of the $50 off if you decide to start a plan today. GoodRanchers.com. American meat delivered. That's GoodRanchers.com.
Welcome back to the Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show. Our guest in studio is Josh Atkinson, owner of the Daisy Exchange in Weatherford, and he is a candidate for Weatherford City Commission, Ward 3. And Josh, one of the big topics going on in Weatherford right now is a potential TIF district out kind of west, I guess, of Tractor Supply and the hotel out there. There's another meeting coming up tomorrow. I'm guessing as you're going door to door talking to people, a lot of people are curious about this, right?
Yeah, I've heard a lot. I've had a lot of questions. I don't have obviously a lot of answers because no one does at this point. Still in the very early stages of even getting the ball rolling on what numbers look like, the length of the of what the TIF would be. So, say 15 years or something. You know, like it can be. I think. As high as, I think, 28 years, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's what the committee's job is moving forward, is to iron out all those small details to ensure that it is a good fit for Weatherford.
So do you have thoughts on it, positive or negative right now? You're still waiting to get more information.
I'm generally going to be for it because, like I mentioned earlier, Weatherford has potential to grow, and this is just another tool in that economic development toolbox to see Weatherford grow, expand beyond what would ordinarily be possible for Weatherford. It might attract businesses that wouldn't typically look at Weatherford or a city of Weatherford size, but they'll see the TIF district, the incentives that come along with it, and say, that might be it, and then they're here for the long haul.
Well, and it's interesting because people sometimes use as an argument against TIF districts, they say, well, local business owners don't want it because they didn't get these incentives. They built their businesses from scratch.
Sure.
Why are you opening up the floodgates for these other people? But you're not concerned with that.
I'm not. When I was looking at relocating to Weatherford, I actually called Yolanda, the economic developer for the city of Weatherford, and I just cold called her and asked her, I said, hey, does the city have any kind of incentives to relocate businesses there? And then she goes, no, we don't currently, but I can get you in contact with the right people to find a place to lease and all that. And sure enough, that's what she was able to do. And as an economic developer, that's exactly what she's supposed to do. She made it easy for me to relocate my business here. Didn't come with any incentives, but I wasn't looking at Weatherford or any city because of incentives. I knew that Weatherford, standing alone, could support a business like mine. So I'm not concerned with it because I've established my business, and it's by God's grace and the support of this community and the surrounding area, we're doing great.
Well, and part of the reasoning people are thinking about this TIF district because this developer came in and said, hey, this is what some of these big box people or major restaurants are looking for. And really, when you look at that area, it's so funny because as I've been hearing more about it, my wife and I actually drove out there, and I'm like, wow, that's going to take some major work clearing out all the trees and stuff. I don't know that an individual would just go out there and do all that themselves to put in a business, right?
Wouldn't see how, because it's not when you look at the property from the road, it's not an attractive looking property. It would take some work, but it could be a TIF district, the way that they envision it currently as it stands, could be what they refer to as a market verifier. Businesses can come in there. If these businesses succeed, then other businesses that aren't part of the TIF will see Weatherford as a growing community. Well, they look at this business and like, oh, it worked there for them, it'll work there for us. And then they come and they are not part of the TIF. They are not getting any incentives, but they chose to do it. And that's what the hope is for something like this.
Well, and we'll just have to see. Once again, it's in the early stages, deciding, if it's something that would be something to take a chance on. Once again, do the positives outweigh the negatives? People are going to have to make up their mind on that, but you've got a wide range of people on this committee.
Yeah, there's people on the committee that have been vocal against it. And then there's people that are unsure, and there's people that are, let's do it. And I think that we have a great mix of individuals that have been appointed and volunteered to be on the committee. And because of that, I think we're going to have a good cross-section of what's going to be represented in the city. I think if you've got questions, if you have concerns, please come to the meetings. They're all open meetings. The next one's tomorrow at noon at City Hall. Please come and attend and ask any questions you have.
So you're saying actually come to the meeting, don't just read what people post about it on Facebook? There could be a difference?
It's a novel thought, I know. It's a novel thought, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, and do that. And people need to do that. All of these things are open, and regular city commission meetings are even streamed online, so people can watch it that way. What else entices you about Weatherford? What are some other opportunities, for growth? Some other items? Why, other things that you have interest in running for City Commission?
Well, I'm currently chairman-elect of the Economic Development Foundation and also president-elect of the Chamber. So I get to see from all angles the Weatherford's potential, and for me, it's just growth potential. Like I think that with the current leadership, they have done an incredible job of getting Weatherford to where it is. And I think that if we don't take the opportunity now where it lies, then we'll start spinning our wheels in the mud. And I think there is time for a fresh set of eyes on the council. And one of the interesting things about Weatherford, I think I mentioned to you a little bit earlier, was that we have open elections. So you don't have to live in Ward 3 or Ward 1 to vote. anybody in Weatherford has the ability to vote for any of the commissioners and then the mayor when that comes available. And I think that is a brilliant way to do it because the commissioners are not making decisions simply for the ward they live in. They're making decisions for townwide, so it gives everybody in Weatherford a voice on the council.
And that's different. Not every city does it that way.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Clinton doesn't do it that way, and I think that's another benefit for Weatherford citizens is that anybody can vote for any of the candidates on the ballot. And with it also being a primary runoff, there are other items on that ballot that's going to very important to Western Oklahoma. So this will be a consequential one not only for the state of Oklahoma and Western Oklahoma, but for Weatherford as a whole.
Well, and I see that being a positive here. Hopefully more people get out to vote because normally these runoffs, it's even smaller than the primary election.
Exactly.
You know?
So I hope you're right. I hope that the turnout is a lot higher than what they're anticipating it being.
So, Josh, anything else you want to talk to the citizens about, kind of why you're running or just things you'd like to accomplish?
Well, I mean, again, for me, it's economic development. I think if Weatherford's economic development is currently strong, it can be stronger with the right tools in place. I think that the individuals that have been elected or appointed to serve in various capacities to the city generally have the city's best interests in mind. And if you have questions or concerns, please talk to people. I think that's kind of lost in society nowadays is talking face-to-face, asking constructive questions, and even criticizing when it's necessary. I think that we have a lot of people in Weatherford that generally love to see where we're at and have the best interest of mind of its citizens, and I'd like to be part of that.
Josh, how can people find out more information about you?
Just find me on Facebook, and
okay.
I just search my name, Josh Atkinson, and it's AD with Delta, and then you'll find me. And or there's a lot of people that have my name and number already. Simply ask for it; they'll give it to you, and I'd be glad to talk to you.
Probably find you at the Daisy Exchange too, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, Josh, thanks so much for coming in. It's great to get to meet you, and good luck
on
August 25th.
I appreciate the opportunity.